okay, he's a little better. He say, but don't ever put no white dude on me because that is disrespectful. I was like, okay. Now, I don't know how America gonna feel about that.
They'll be all right.
Larry Bird would probably beat LeBron 1-on-1.
Really?
You know, Bird tough to defend. Why? Because he looks slow as shit to me. So he's like, I'm missing something. So like, tell me what I'm missing. You know what I mean?
Larry Bird didn't just leave his mark on the NBA. He left a crater. From the moment he stepped onto a basketball court, his impact was impossible to ignore. Even before he officially entered the league, his dominance was so clear that the Boston Celtics drafted him while he was still in college. When Bird finally arrived in the NBA, he didn't need time to adjust. He was an MVP-level superstar almost immediately, transforming the Celtics into a championship powerhouse and leading them on deep playoff runs year after year. Bird's career was defined by iconic rivalries against the greatest players of the 1980s, with each battle further cementing his place in basketball history. Yet his influence didn't end when his playing days were over. He went on to thrive as both a head coach and a front office executive, becoming the only person in NBA history to win MVP as a player, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year. For more than 3 decades, Larry Bird's fingerprints have been all over the game. NBA legends still tell stories about Bird, stories that sound almost mythical. With a nickname like Larry Legend, it's no surprise that his legacy feels larger than life. But don't just take my word for it. Let's hear what the greatest players of all time have said, starting with none other than Michael Jordan. When the debate over the greatest of all time comes up, one name usually rises to the top: Michael Jordan. For many fans, Jordan was their introduction to the NBA, the superstar who helped propel the league to global popularity in the 1990s. However, even the greatest players have to face those who came before them. Before Jordan could dominate the league, he had to fight through the legends of the previous era. There's a reason Jordan ruled the 1990s but struggled to make deep playoff runs in the 1980s. Standing in his path were Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics. Despite already being an elite talent, Jordan repeatedly ran into Bird's Celtics in the Eastern Conference, suffering back-to-back first-round playoff exits at their hands. Even Bird recognized Jordan's greatness early on, but at that point, experience and a superior team kept Jordan from breaking through. Jordan was famously reluctant to praise his rivals, but when it came to Larry Bird, his respect was undeniable, and it showed in more ways than one.
Enjoy yourself, dog. Y'all gave us the run for our money. Yeah. All right, take care. Thank you. Work on that golf game of yours.
Michael Jordan's interactions with Larry Bird often carried a bittersweet mix of frustration and respect. On the court, repeated losses to Bird and the Celtics clearly wore on him. But off the court, Jordan never denied Bird's greatness. He was noticeably more cordial with Bird, even inviting him to play rounds of golf, perhaps one of the rare settings where Jordan could occasionally gain the upper hand. While Jordan's frustration was evident, he was also honest about Bird's style of play. He frequently pointed out Bird's physical, relentless approach, at times even describing him as dirty. Yet those criticisms never overshadowed the respect Jordan held for Bird's competitiveness and basketball IQ, acknowledging that Bird did whatever it took to win.
So he's a tough, hard player that you actually, you get angry at sometimes.
Everybody does. I mean, it's a common thing. If you had 273 professional athletes here, a professional basketball player, and you say who's the 30th player in the NBA, you know, I say 95%, I say Lambeer or Larry Bird.
Really?
Jordan's comment is particularly intriguing given that very few players have ever labeled Larry Bird as dirty. It raises the question of whether Bird adopted a more aggressive edge specifically to gain an advantage over Jordan, or if Jordan was exaggerating in an effort to explain his difficulties against him. Either interpretation adds another layer to their rivalry. Interestingly, Jordan wasn't the only star with a strong opinion. His former teammate Dennis Rodman offered a very different, and far more controversial, take on Bird. Rodman once suggested that Bird wouldn't succeed in today's NBA, even going so far as to say he might be better suited for European basketball. What Rodman truly meant by the comment remains open to interpretation, leaving fans and analysts alike debating whether it was criticism, provocation, or simply Rodman being Rodman.
Okay, I'll put it this way. If Larry Bird played in this era, I think he'd be in Europe. So I'm just letting you know, man. Really, like I said, I'm just saying he would be somewhere over there. Because, I think his game was fit for Boston at that time in the 80s and stuff like that. But today's world, oh, hell no.
Rodman may have carried some lingering frustration toward Bird, as the two shared plenty of intense on-court battles, especially when Rodman was tasked with guarding him. He experienced firsthand just how relentless Bird could be, watching him score with ease while backing it up with non-stop trash talk. Those matchups left a lasting impression. Around that same time, Pistons teammate Isaiah Thomas shared a revealing story that highlighted Bird's fierce competitive mindset. According to Thomas, Bird once took offense when Detroit initially assigned a white defender to guard him, as white players in that era were often unfairly stereotyped as being less athletic. Bird reportedly made it clear that such a matchup wouldn't slow him down, prompting the Pistons to switch to Rodman, a far more physical defender, in hopes of containing him.
He said, hey man, you can't put no white dude on me. That is straight disrespect, right? He said, don't put no white dude on me. So check this out. So the next year we come back, I said, I got somebody for your ass, right?
Yeah.
He said, who you got? I said, Rodman. He said, okay, he's a little better. He said, but don't ever put no white dude on me because that is disrespectful.
Larry Bird was a relentless trash talker, but what truly set him apart was how effortlessly funny he made it. His sharp wit and unshakable confidence often had even his opponents laughing, like the irony of him complaining about white defenders despite being white himself. Bird's race became an unavoidable part of his superstardom, especially because of his iconic rivalry with Magic Johnson. The NBA leaned heavily into their contrasting backgrounds, using their differences to fuel what became one of the greatest rivalries in sports history. In many ways, it's impossible to talk about Bird without mentioning Magic. Yet despite years of fierce competition, Magic Johnson speaks of Bird today with nothing but the highest praise. Looking back, he recognizes that their rivalry pushed him to become a better player from the very beginning. Magic has often said he felt like he was chasing Bird's level, a pursuit that ultimately helped define both of their legendary careers.
And I'm glad that we came in together because I had somebody to measure myself to.
Right.
And say, hey, okay, he's great. I can't let him get too far ahead of me. I got to work hard because I want to stay in.
How was you guys' relationship? How would you describe your relationship? Obviously, you beat him in the finals in '79. But how was your relationship once you got to the NBA? Because I think the thing was, he was Rookie of the Year. I think you got like 1 or 2 votes.
That's all.
The Rookie of the Year race between Larry Bird and Magic Johnson wasn't even close. Bird won in a landslide. Even decades later, Magic has admitted that the loss still stings. Rather than letting it linger, however, he used it as fuel, pushing himself to reach the level of greatness Bird had already established. When it comes to whether Bird's game would translate to today's NBA, many believe his skill set would thrive in the modern era. His shooting, basketball IQ, and versatility seem tailor-made for today's spacing and pace. In fact, former NBA scorer Gilbert Arenas has gone so far as to say he would choose Bird over LeBron James in a one-on-one matchup, a bold statement that speaks volumes about Bird's legendary offensive arsenal and competitive edge.
Larry Bird would probably beat LeBron one-on-one.
Really? Larry Bird would beat LeBron James one-on-one. Ooh.
Because one-on-one, it takes away from everything LeBron has, right?
Ooh.
His physical strength, his speed, right? And all that power he has going. Well, in one-on-one, you're talking about 1-2 dribbles. That's not his
corners. And
that's not his game.
Yeah.
That's Larry's whole game.
For a first-hand perspective on Larry Bird, his former teammate Danny provides invaluable insight. Having witnessed Bird's greatness up close, Danny consistently points to one defining trait above all others: his unshakable confidence. Bird believed in his abilities to such an extent that he would openly tell defenders exactly what he was about to do, then execute it anyway. No matter how they adjusted or what defenses they threw at him, they simply couldn't stop him.
I always considered myself a confident player, but Larry was entirely. There's so many stories I have about just him taking games over, and with coach, you call a play, and he's not running. It's just okay. He's just gonna take it and score. But he just had so much belief in himself, and he could get a shot that with double teams at the end of games. Like, teams knew what we were running, and he'd still get a quality look on it.
The brilliance of Larry Bird's game extended far beyond what immediately met the eye, and many casual fans may never fully grasp the subtle details that made him so dominant. Even Kobe Bryant, one of the most obsessive students of basketball, initially struggled to understand why Bird was so difficult to defend. Intrigued, Kobe went straight to the source, asking Lakers legends from the Showtime era what made Bird truly special. From the outside, Bird didn't seem especially fast or athletic, yet he remained an unstoppable offensive force. That contradiction puzzled defenders and analysts alike. There had to be something more to his game than raw physical tools, something hidden in the details that separated him from everyone else.
Bird tough to defend. Why? Because he looks slow as shit to me. So like, I'm missing something. So like, tell me what I'm missing. You know what I mean? And so I would always ask questions and try to learn as much as I could. Right? No? That's a different generation. You guys probably never even seen Larry Bird play. Which is how many have seen Larry Bird play?
Hey, everybody's seen Larry Bird play.
That's not a high enough percentage. We got.
After studying Larry Bird's game, Kobe Bryant became one of his strongest advocates, encouraging fans to truly watch and appreciate Bird's greatness through deeper study and conversations with NBA legends. Through that process, Kobe gained a clearer understanding of what made Bird so special, and he believed the younger generation should do the same. Learning from the legends of the past to fully grasp the nuances of the game. One of those legends is Byron Scott, who faced Bird multiple times in the NBA Finals as a member of the Showtime Lakers. Scott shared a story that perfectly captured Bird's legendary mind games and trash talk, delivered with an almost unsettling calm. Bird wouldn't just talk trash. He would calmly tell defenders exactly how he planned to score, daring them to stop him, and then execute it anyway. No matter how well opponents adjusted, Bird always seemed to find a way to dominate.
Larry would just, and he would say it in such a calm way that you didn't think it was trash talking, but it's trash talking. You're not going to tell me you're going to go over there and shoot the ball in my face. That's trash talking. But he would tell you before the play even started. He just come out and say, guys, you ain't got to worry. This is where the ball going. I'm going to catch it over here. And he would tell you to play and catch it over there and shoot.
Playing against Larry Bird had to be incredibly frustrating. Imagine doing everything right as a defender, anticipating the play, rotating perfectly, communicating with teammates, yet still being powerless to stop him. It was demoralizing, especially for Byron Scott and the Showtime Lakers, who faced Bird repeatedly on the NBA's biggest stage. While opponents struggled, Bird's teammates had a front-row seat to his brilliance, often translating it into dominant victories. Bill Walton recalls what he considers Bird's greatest game, one that came in the NBA Finals against the Houston Rockets. On that night, Bird stepped out of his usual calm, collected demeanor to fire up his teammates in the locker room. They needed a win, and Walton sensed that something was different about Bird, something that would carry the team to victory.
Larry went out and just played his self-proclaimed greatest game that he ever played. And it was spectacular because in a game of a lot of winners of the genetic lottery. I mean, you had Akeem, you had Ralph, who were just brilliant, just getting started in their careers. You had Kevin McHale, you had the Chief, and here was Larry. Larry got every rebound. Larry made every steal. He made every pass. He just literally did everything and made the rest of the world seem inconsequential. Larry Bird, the greatest player I ever played with. Bye.
This story perfectly captures what set Larry Bird apart from other NBA greats. His game wasn't just about skill, it was his intangibles. His relentless drive, unmatched basketball IQ, and unwavering focus made him a true winner. Bill Walton often spoke about players who won the genetic lottery, the biggest, strongest, most athletic stars in the league. He faced giants like Ralph Sampson, a 7 feet 4 inches phenom built much like today's Victor Wembanyama, and Hakeem Olajuwon, who alongside Sampson formed Houston's feared Twin Towers. Even on his own Celtics roster, Kevin McHale boasted one of the longest wingspans in NBA history at 8 feet, and Boston still rotated 2 more 7-footers. Yet somehow it was Bird, often labeled unathletic, who led the team in rebounding. His elite basketball IQ, laser focus, and relentless hustle allowed him to dominate all over the court. In that pivotal NBA Finals game against the Rockets, Bird sealed the victory with a masterful 29 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, and 3 steals, closing the door on Houston's championship hopes. Even among freakishly talented, physically gifted players, Bird consistently found a way to be the most impactful presence on the floor. Walton, a legendary champion himself, could only watch in awe. Bird's aura wasn't lost on his opponents, either. Charles Barkley, one of the NBA's rising stars in the mid-'80s, experienced it firsthand early in his career. He still vividly remembers the first time he saw Bird up close, and the impression it left was unforgettable.
Larry Bird was one of the best trash talkers ever. So one of my teammates, Leon Wood, was great. He's an NBA official now.
Yes,
So we're in the room getting ready for the three-point contest at an All-Star game. Larry walks in and says, "Which one of y'all gonna come in second place?" Y'all heard me. Which one of y'all gonna come in second place? I was like, damn, that was like my first real talk to him. Ooh, that sounded pretty aggressive. He won, though. He won.
The sheer audacity of Larry Bird was almost unmatched. Walking into a locker room, locking eyes with your competitors, and declaring yourself the winner before the game even starts is virtually unheard of. But that was Bird. And the most incredible part, he always backed it up. One of the most legendary moments of his career came during an NBA three-point contest, where Bird didn't even bother taking off his warm-up jacket. He deliberately restrained himself, fully confident that he would win regardless. It wasn't just a statement, it was trash talk executed through sheer style and presence. That level of confidence and psychological warfare is rarely seen in today's NBA. Another player famous for his own trash talk, Reggie Miller, developed a strong bond with Bird during his time as Indiana Pacers head coach and team president, while Miller was the franchise cornerstone. But before that relationship blossomed, they were fierce competitors. Miller once recounted a story about a game in which Bird completely dominated him. And the remarkable part was that Miller told the story directly to Bird himself, highlighting the mutual respect behind their on-court battles.
Goes on to score 12 in those 6 minutes. Celtics go on a 33-14 run, and they beat us in Game 5. But that moment of watching you, look, I know you're supposed to be competitors, but I'm going against the guy who I patterned my game after, and you put on an unbelievable.
It's rare to see one of the NBA's fiercest competitors and trash talkers left speechless in admiration. But that was the impact Larry Bird had. His greatness was undeniable. Bird's dominance throughout the 1980s loomed large over the Showtime Lakers, particularly their captain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Had it not been for Bird and the Boston Celtics, Kareem might have claimed more championships than any player outside the 1960s Celtics dynasty. Kareem became intimately familiar with the challenge of facing Bird on the league's biggest stage, clashing with him multiple times in the NBA Finals. Yet rather than fostering resentment for standing in his way, Kareem developed a profound respect for Bird. As a fierce competitor, a master of the game, and one of the greatest players the NBA has ever seen.
It's ridiculous. He came in. I remember our sportscaster played the Superman theme when he was talking about him that night after the game, because he did everything,
Right.
Points, rebounds, assists, just steals, you name it. Larry has such a great mind for the game. And a great touch. I had a lot of respect for him.
Larry Bird could do it all. He was an elite scorer, rebounder, playmaker, defender, and shooter, a rare all-around talent. Yet despite his dominance, many still underestimated him simply because he didn't fit the typical image of an NBA superstar. Even Patrick Ewing admitted he once bought into the doubts surrounding Bird. But that changed the moment he saw Bird up close in the league. Any skepticism vanished instantly. Bird proved that athleticism alone doesn't define greatness. It's how you use your skills, intelligence, and work ethic to impact the game consistently. Time and time again, he outplayed opponents who were considered more athletic or physically gifted, showing that talent, determination, and basketball IQ will always rise to the top.
I used to always talking about that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, a lot of my friends was like that, So, I got to the league. I called all my friends back up. I said, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. He can, whatever you were saying for a man who can't jump, he's demolishing every.
One of the clearest examples of Larry Bird outsmarting an athletic phenom was Dominique Wilkins. Wilkins was a high-flying, explosive scorer who could outrun and outjump almost anyone. His game thrived in transition, where his speed and athleticism made him nearly unstoppable. But Bird had a masterful understanding of both his own strengths and his opponent's weaknesses. Rather than trying to match Wilkins's pace, he controlled the tempo, deliberately slowing the game down and forcing it into a half-court battle. Exactly the kind of setting where his skill, basketball IQ, and execution gave him the edge. Despite all his physical gifts, Wilkins couldn't counter Bird's strategy. Over the course of the 1980s, Bird and the Celtics eliminated Wilkins and the Atlanta Hawks 3 separate times in the playoffs, proving that intelligence, preparation, and strategy can triumph over pure athleticism.
What they were great at is slowing the game down, making you play at their pace. And having one of the greatest players to ever lace a pair of shoes up in Larry Bird, in a half-court situation, he was evil. I mean, you couldn't beat him in a half-court.
Gary Payton has made it a point to set the record straight for newer generations of NBA fans, who sometimes overlook Larry Bird's place in history. He's heard all the usual criticisms, that Bird was too slow or not athletic enough. But Payton knows that basketball is about far more than speed and raw athleticism. Intelligence, skill, and instincts often matter even more than physical ability. It's worth reminding people just how much Bird accomplished in his relatively short career. You don't accidentally win multiple championships, earn multiple MVP awards, and make countless all-star appearances. Those achievements come from hard work, precision, and an unrelenting drive to win. Bird's impact on the game was undeniable, and his legacy deserves the same reverence and respect as any of the all-time greats.
Larry Bird would shoot it anywhere. If you think about how many times he won a championship and what he was doing and what he was averaging, people don't understand that he was like, oh, he was slow. He wasn't, nah, he was just smart. You know what I'm saying? He was smart and he can get it. He can get it done. He wasn't MVP all them times and all the All-Stars all them times for me.
Larry Bird's legacy in the NBA goes far beyond stats and championships. It's defined by the respect and awe he commanded from his peers. From Michael Jordan's rivalry and admiration to Magic Johnson's appreciation of their shared journey, Bird's impact extended well beyond his own court. Brilliance wasn't measured in pure athleticism. Bird didn't need to be the fastest or most explosive player. Instead, he outsmarted and outworked his competition with elite basketball IQ, unshakable confidence, and relentless determination. Even as the game evolved, his influence remained undeniable, with legends like Kobe Bryant and Gary Payton emphasizing that his skills are timeless, whether through trash talk, psychological games, or clutch performances. Time and again, Bird proved that greatness isn't just about physical dominance. It's about making everyone on the court believe in your ability to win. He wasn't just a great player. He was a blueprint for how greatness can take many forms.